we know these people are not living well. They open up the back hatch of this hoopty SUV, and one single kennel contains 10 Chihuahuas.
Yeah.
It's 10 o'clock at night, and we can literally see at that point fleas jumping off these dogs in the parking lot of the Baumgars.
We're happy to help out, but we're not a dumping ground.
No.
Our goal is to stop these kind of operations.
Yeah.
And so when we help these people out, it feels counterintuitive.
Yes.
It feels counterproductive.
Yeah.
Like
are
when
we
we
just
say we
a
take
part
in
of the
breeder
problem?
strainers, are we just part of the cycle?
Oh my dog. Dog. Oh my dog.
Oh, my dog. Hey.
Oh my dog. Hello. And welcome.
Yeah, welcome. It's Kara and
Holly.
We're here, and we're ready to talk some smack about dogs. How about that?
Welcome to the Oh My Dog podcast.
Yeah, how do we say podcast so it sounds like how we spell it?
Pod. P-A-W-D. Pod.
Yeah,
Podcast. Welcome to the podcast.
We're very clever. So Holly and I, if you're joining us right away from the beginning, you probably already know and already follow Oh My Dog Rescue. But if not, we're going to give a quick rundown of who we are, why we're here, how we started this, and let you get to know us a little bit. And then we're going to talk about the types of things we run into, and hopefully then gain your interest to follow along with us on this podcast journey.
Yeah. Follow us on Facebook if you don't already.
Yes, we're very active on there.
Post every day.
We do. Holly, do you want to talk a little bit about how we met, and then we can tell our stories, I guess?
Well, you should probably go first because I met you
That's true.
through there. So go ahead.
Well, I think we need to start our origin story first and foremost by shouting out the rescue that brought us together.
Oh, yeah.
So Oh My Dog is a very clever rescue name, but we had to get clever because we came from the origins of Fluffy Butts Rescue. So Fluffy Butts Rescue was founded by Chris Wells, who is just our...
You got to know her to love her, though.
That's right.
We love you, Chris.
We do love you, and we are here because of you, and a lot of dogs are alive because of you. So we were both, I started out, I adopted a dog from Fluffy Butts Rescue.
Me too.
And then you know what she does? She throws a dog in your back seat and says, you'd be a great foster.
Yeah, she loves to tag you in.
So I adopted a one-eyed Chihuahua named Pansy. And I kept the name because it was so ridiculous. And part of why we love naming dogs so much is because Fluffy Butts instilled in us the importance of giving dogs weird names. So we did that.
Kara's the queen of naming.
I love naming dogs so much.
You're very good at it.
But so is Chris Wells. She names some weird dogs. And but anyhow, I adopted this little Chihuahua who ended up hating everyone and everything in the entire world except for me. So it was a good adoption on my part. And at the same time, she threw in the back seat pretty quickly thereafter a little Chihuahua named Batty, who was my very first foster.
That's how you started fostering.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so Batty was just a darling, hideous, oh my Lord, the ugliest little bug-eyed Chihuahua you ever saw in your life, but so ugly it was cute.
Fluffy Butts gets the ugliest dogs.
So ugly.
Every time.
And so I started working with Chris, and I was not afraid to say yes to 2, 3, 4 dogs at a time. And
Still not?
No, I'm still not. I like a little herd. And so, and from there, we became really great friends with her separately. And then together we were introduced. And
When was that? When did you adopt Pansy? What year?
Well, it was the year, I think, that I bought my house, which would have been 2010.
Oh, gosh. Mm-hmm. See, I didn't come till 2017.
Yeah.
So you were with her alone for a long time.
I was.
What a trooper.
Yeah.
I adopted Jax in June of 2017.
It may have been a little after 2010. You know, it was so when I adopted her, my husband was deployed. So when did he deploy again? I don't know. Timelines are hard for me. Time is a thief, and I don't ever understand it. But anyway, many, many years I've known Chris, and so I started fostering dogs, and then Holly also adopted Jax, and that's how you got involved with Fluffy Butts, right?
Yeah. I adopted Jax in 2017, and my husband was in the military as well, and he was on a training course. So,
so then you're like, hey, I'm going to get this dog.
I'm just going to get a dog while he's gone.
Left me here alone to do all of the chores, which I normally do anyway when you're here. But because of you're gone, I got a dog. So that's what we do.
I'm going to win over this dog's heart before you can get home.
Yeah, it'll only like me, which actually did work. The one and only time the dog liked me more was when I did do that. So anyway, we have been in this group chat with Chris for a million years, and Holly and I became very close and rescued a lot of dogs together. And we'll tell, as this podcast moves along, some of the stories that happened when we were with Fluffy Butts and some of those rescues that we went on together, because there's a couple really good ones. But we just have to pay homage to
Chris,
the number
Fluffy
one,
Butts and all the Fluffy Butts friends, and
the queen of foster-based rescue. She knows how to do it, and she's been doing it right for a really long time.
Yep,
yeah,
for sure. We wouldn't be able to do what we do. We wouldn't have had the know-how to do it.
No, and so anyway, then what year was it that we decided that we wanted to try and do something more locally here? Because Chris is based out of Washington, Iowa, so it was a little bit of a jaunt, right?
Right. Well, after I adopted Jackson, it was June of 17, and I think, I maybe got duped into that one because Jax, God love him.
He was a whiner.
But I loved him. He was great.
Yeah.
He's since passed, but that was in June, and by December, I had taken in my first foster. So I'd helped out with some of the
transport and
social media stuff, transport stuff, and then this dog came into the Fluffy Butts inbox. Dee Dee. It was a Yorkie about
that sounds right.
8 million years old, and her mom had gone into nursing care facility, and I said, "Hey, if you need help with this dog, let me know. I could take her." And of course, Chris was like, "Yeah, here you go. You can have her."
You took Jax, and you haven't returned him yet, so you're in.
So I took Dee Dee, and oh my God, she was a very sick little dog, and she needed sub-Q fluids and meds, and she was a mess. But we found an adopter for her. There's somebody out there for every puppy.
Every puppy has a human out there. Yeah.
And actually, Lori up in Forest City, she adopted Dee Dee, and we still have a relationship with Lori. She takes in all of our sick hospice dogs. She's a hospice queen.
She adopts sick hospice dogs. Like, what better human? She's got a spot. If there's a heaven, she's got a throne waiting for her. Yeah.
But that's how. And then Chris, adopted me into your group chat, and that's how I met Kara. And gosh,
instantly there was like stars and rainbows.
All of our it's hard to find people that your humor aligns up with. You know what I mean? And maybe this is where we put in the dark humor disclaimer.
Yes, we need to talk about this right now because we think about dog rescue as that we have to do the Sarah McLachlan beautiful music, sad dogs, everybody saves them, a hero swoops in. But the hero swooping in, let me tell you,
we're pretty dark.
We have black hearts.
You gotta, though.
And beautiful souls.
You gotta.
Yeah. And so we make some pretty messed up jokes as this rolls along. Yeah. And so if you're easily offended by anything at all, specifically relating to the stuff that might happen in dog rescue, and you can't laugh with us at the horrible things that human beings do to animals, you're probably not going to be our audience.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have to use humor to get through the hard times, and that's been proven to me time and time again. But yeah, we make some pretty crude jokes, but it's just the way that we mentally and emotionally deal with some of these very awful situations that we run into. So always know that we are, we have the utmost respect for rescue and for the dogs, and they're always well taken care of, but they do take in some jokes at our expense.
Oh, man. Yeah. And you'll hear them. We probably won't have a whole lot today, but boy,
they're coming.
They're coming. Okay.
They're coming.
All right. So as we work through this podcast, one of the things we want to do is talk to you all about some of these rescue missions that we get to go on, right? So
we've been on a few. In just our first year, we've taken in, 4 large group surrenders. We had the Perry 7 that kicked us off, and just a few days after we started.
Yeah.
That was a shit show.
Yeah.
And then we did the Schnauzer Bounce.
Yes.
That was 13 Schnauzers. The Knoxville 13. And what we're going to talk about today is the 10 Chihuahuas from Indianola.
Yeah. So the reason we didn't start with our very first large-scale rescue, and for us, large-scale, this is a lot of dogs for 2 ladies who just had a couple $1,000s in the bank and said, let's do it, okay?
How are we going to do this?
Come on.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. But so I received this Facebook message from the daughter of a man and woman who supposedly lived in Indianola. They had a few extra dogs that they were having trouble taking care of, and she wanted our help. And so I got put into contact with the husband. It was a husband and wife who lived in this house. And he said, all right, I can meet you at the Baumgars in Indianola at 10 p.m.
Oh, God.
To take 10 Chihuahuas. And, okay, we'll figure it out. Let's go. Let's roll. So we did a little baby caravan and went down there.
I remember that. And we got there, and they weren't there yet. And I thought, oh, they backed out. They're not going to show up.
Yeah.
But they did.
This hoopty pulls up.
Oh, what a mess.
The door
Those dogs were a mess.
They were. The door opened up, and a man got out with blood running down his arm. Dog feces covering his Crocs. They were. They may have been nice Crocs at one point, but he was no longer rocking.
Is there such thing as nice Crocs?
Hey, the teens of this world, they've got those little things they put in the holes. They got flashlights. You can jazz up a Croc, okay? I don't have any Crocs, but I have seen some cool ones. No, I haven't. But he was wearing Crocs that were so covered in poop, the holes weren't there anymore, okay? So that means to me that he is literally living in filth. So that's sad. That's something we'll talk about and we'll get into is the human aspect of this, right? There's a lot of mental health that happens, health problems that happen with people who are hoarding animals.
9 times out of 10. When we run into these hoarding situations, there is always a mental health aspect in it.
Yeah, for sure. So anyhow, we know these people are not living well. They open up the back hatch of this hoopty SUV, and one single kennel contains 10 Chihuahuas.
Yeah.
It's 10 o'clock at night, and we can literally see at that point fleas jumping off these dogs in the parking lot of the Baumgars. So we knew we were in for it, right? But at that point, you don't turn around. You just say, okay, let's roll.
We'll figure it out.
So we have, both of our cars.
And his wife was just a hot mess.
She was sobbing, snot everywhere. We were ripping her firstborn child from her womb and tossing it in the dumpster. Okay.
Which at the time pulled at my heartstrings a little bit. But now...
Not me, my heart's darker.
Not so much.
We'll get to why that's not the case. So we thought, okay, they're giving up all of their dogs. All right. So Bloody Hand guy starts reaching in and handing us dogs. And eventually he gets to this dog who is a tiny little thing. And he says, that one. He's like, that one got me. I'm like, okay, buddy, what do you mean?
I've got my welding gloves out.
Yeah.
And I'm like ready to.
Yeah. So each of us, this is something each of us drive around every day of our lives with welding gloves in our car because you never know.
You never know what you're going to run into.
And I've used them a lot.
I've got rabies vaccination certificate to prove it.
She's been bitten, had to have the rabies vax. Yeah, whole thing. But we got the welding gloves. So we put on the welding gloves and we prepare to get this dog who's that one who got him, out of this kennel. Turns out she was that one. She was
feisty. We couldn't even bathe her.
No,
she was the only one out of all 10 of them that we couldn't get bathed.
So that night
we tried.
We tried.
We tried real hard.
I put a muzzle on her and
she ripped it off,
and it got caught around her neck. So I had to cut it off with a scissors because she was so crazy I couldn't unbuckle it.
Nuts.
So anyway, she was crazy. And so Holly bathed 9 and I bathed 1. So I'm
Not that one.
Not that one. No, neither one of us bathed that one. But that one did live in my home. I did foster that little crazy gremlin.
Who adopted your dog? What's that dog's name?
Oh, yeah, Dottie. So Dottie, I have a 13-year-old German Shepherd, and she was like, I'll take care of her. It's fine. Because she wouldn't let a human touch her.
What'd you name that little chihuahua?
I didn't name her anything. She was supposed to be going to a different foster, and they had already pre-named her Grogu.
Oh.
I don't even know what a Grogu is, okay?
I don't know
but
either.
I kept the
Is
name.
that a thing?
Well, yeah.
I'll Google it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with Star Wars. I'm unsure. Anyhow, so we bathe all these dogs. Grogu is mean. Continues to be mean until the day she's adopted. And I'm going to loop back around to her adoption.
Star Wars thing. Look.
Oh, it's the Baby Yoda.
Is that? I thought that was.
Isn't that Baby Yoda?
I don't know.
It looks like Baby Yoda to me. Stuff. I don't know anything.
Go ahead.
Anyway, Grogu was not as cute as that Grogu either. She had some issues. But anyhow, so yeah, we take all 10 of these dogs, get them into foster homes. Our wonderful volunteers take really great care of them. Some of them are feral, like Grogu was.
They
like untouched. And they said they'd never picked them up.
They were all real feral.
Scared.
Feral. That's the right word for it. And normally I'm thinking, 10 Chihuahuas, no big deal.
In and
These
out.
are gonna. And I even told we had a brand new foster come in, and I said, they're Chihuahuas. 10 days. We'll get them vetted. You'll have an application out the door. 10 days. Freaking 2 months later, that dog finally got adopted. I'm like, listen.
Yeah. Sorry.
This was not an ideal situation.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were getting into. And
that is how it is, though, sometimes.
But she took it in stride, and she loved that dog and took
did.
really good care of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so all this happens. We take care of all these dogs, thousands of dollars in vet care for 10 Chihuahuas, right? A lot of money.
Well, none of them
had anything. So
Nothing.
everything. So we're talking...
and that's
dentals.
Also how it goes.
Yeah.
You hardly get any paperwork because there is no paperwork.
No, these dogs had never seen
a vet.
No, they'd never seen the light of day.
Exactly.
Which is
and
what we found out.
all of those dogs, remember all those dogs wanted to be up on top of things?
They were climbers.
Like couches.
So Grogu spent a majority of her time on my kitchen counter.
Yeah. So they must have been in like a garage or something where the windows were up high.
They were trying to get up to something.
Yeah.
I don't know what. It was very weird. They were all very jumpy.
Yeah.
The owners of the 10 Chihuahuas from supposedly Indianola.
Which we had told them when we left. We said, if you have
anybody else,
if you have anything
we're
else,
ready.
Please let us know.
We'll take them.
We'll take them.
Over and over again.
Because after we saw the condition of these dogs,
we're like, we got to get everybody out.
If you have any more, please just give them up.
And they agreed that they would. And the husband had been texting me intermittently between December 31st.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason was his name.
Quote, unquote.
Yeah. Ended up that was his first name, but...
I thought he gave you a fake name.
Well, he had a fake email.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, Jason, I had his real phone number, and he and I had been texting. There was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He texted and said, I have these dogs. I've got 9 more, and then we're going to be good. I want you to take these dogs. Okay, cool. So I prepped us. I was like, we're going to do this again. We're going to do one more round, and we're going to have this place shut down. Whatever's going on at this house. We've never seen the house.
Because that's always our goal with these situations.
We want it to be done.
We're happy to help out, but we're not a dumping ground.
No.
Our goal is to stop these kind of operations.
Yeah.
And so when we help these people out, it feels counterintuitive.
Yes.
It feels counterproductive.
Yeah.
Like
when
we say we take in breeder
problem?
surrenders, are we just part of the cycle and we're just making space for them to start the cycle over again?
Right.
And so we talk with these people about, okay, how many do you have? Like,
what's your plan?
What's your plan here? Are you trying to get out? Because if
not,
you're not, we're not here to help you.
We're not it.
I mean,
and there's some rescues that
it's hard to walk away
okay.
from dogs like that.
It is hard to walk away. It's the reason that breeders a lot of times are selling dogs, because they'll get somebody to come in and they'll say, you want to buy this puppy, and they said, well, I felt bad for the puppy. I'm like, well, did you see Mama? Because she don't look very good.
The whole 2-for-1 sibling situation.
Oh, we're seeing a lot of that.
About that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother day.
Podcast.
But anyway, so he'd been texting me. Thursday night, he texts me and he says, Friday, I'm going to send you pictures of all 9 dogs I need help with. And I said, okay, well, we'll be ready to roll. Friday morning, the news comes out, and the ARL has seized 58 dogs.
And like
and 3 cats.
3 cats. Yeah.
57, 58 dogs, 3 cats out of Norwalk. I immediately saw the pictures of the dogs. I sent them to Holly. I said, that's our people. Those are the relatives of the dogs we took. They're very distinct looking Chihuahuas. Okay?
Because when the ones that we had, they all had skin conditions.
Horrible. Like and not horrible like the ones that happened at the ARL release. But, well, one of them was bad like that.
But they all had to be treated.
All of them had to have skin treatment. All of them.
And they've all... Now that they've all been adopted, they've all grown in full coats.
Yeah, because they're not being eaten alive by fleas.
That it was that way before.
Yeah. So anyway, I see this news. I send it to Holly. I need every man that might be listening to this to know women can find anything out that they want.
We're better than the FBI.
We are.
So
here's what we did. There was a picture that was posted with the ARL, the ARL release. Okay, like light colored house, darker shutters, and they said the 2100 block of whatever street. Cool. Looked up that street, got on Google Maps, went down the street, found the house, looked the house up on the assessor's site, found that the house was owned by a dead man, found his obituary. Inside the obituary, there was next of kin. Next of kin was someone named Jason. Looked Jason and his wife up on Facebook, and what do you know? Those are the people who supposedly lived in Indianola, but did not. They drove all the way from Norwalk to Indianola to trick us into where they didn't live there. You know, what in the heck? So it was the people. It was the same people that we took those 10 dogs from, that they took this 57, 58, very sick. And lots of deceased dogs, like 7 deceased, I think.
And we have another PI on our team too, and she did a little digging and came up with the same conclusion. And you hadn't told her this information.
No, at the same time she goes, "I think these are the dogs that you guys had," and I said, "Yeah, I already know. We've done it too here." So don't try to hide from us. We'll figure it out.
Okay, we will find you.
We'll find you. So we found them, figured that out. I was in contact with a volunteer who was in contact with the daughter who had originally put me in touch with the owners, and I told her, when that daughter talks to the police, you can let them know that I know some things. Okay. And so I get a phone call last week from the Norwalk Police Department from a detective. I give my statement and I say, this has been going on for a long time. And these people have been doing this for a long time and keeping dogs in squalor for far too long. And they know what they've been doing. And they've been selling the puppies. So here's where this circle comes around. The people who adopted Grogu, the violent, bloody arm, crazy Chihuahua who wouldn't let you, unbathable psycho dog who lived on my kitchen counter for months. They applied. I'm like, this is crazy. I can't believe someone's applying. And they had been following along with my story, and I was very candid. We do not lie about our dogs or the condition that they're in. We tell if they are completely feral and rotten, because there's someone out there for every puppy.
That's
right? So anyway, she shows up, sits down on my couch, and she said, "You're going to think I'm crazy, but I bought this dog from some people in a parking lot in Indianola who looks exactly like Grogu a few years ago off of Craigslist." And I'm like, I said, "Show me the picture." She shows me the picture. I'm like, "Oh, yep. That's a family resemblance." It's like this nose, right? Like, you know that if I'm related to that person, that we are in the same gene pool.
Half siblings there, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're related somehow. So this wonderful woman adopted Grogu. Beautiful ending. The dog still is not a lap dog. She's not getting carried around, but she's happy. She's with other dogs.
But we didn't know where she'd come from.
We didn't understand.
At the time, in December, we thought, okay,
it's the people
something just got out of control.
Have a little bit of a dirty house, and it is what it is.
We've got a litter of pups that they can't get rid of, and it's
that's what we thought.
Whatever. Well, now that we know that she's coming from somewhere where there were 57 other dogs 3 months later, so however many dogs there were before that.
Right, who knows?
What were they? There's no way 10 people can give the attention to
that many dogs
for them to be socialized well enough to,
Well, and they even told us, though, when we picked him up, that he's like, "I've never touched any of these." And I was like, "What?"
And she is going on and boo-hoo-hooing. And you know what?
No.
At some point, you got to say, listen, I want you to remember what this feels like right now. So the next time you think about putting a dog that's in heat, in with a male that's unneutered, I want you to think about how you feel right now.
And how far deep into literal
and then maybe not do that again.
Yeah.
That would be helpful, because now we're taking on these 10 dogs at 10 o'clock at night, and we're going to take them home, and we're going to bathe them and vet them and find foster homes for them and adopt them out. And because of choices that you made, and you're sitting here crying your eyes out to me.
There is some mental health issues there, but at that point, I don't care.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And that's where the dark humor thing comes
right.
in. You know, we have compassion for mental health, and I wish that we could address those situations too, but
we can't.
We can't.
So we're handling what happens.
But somebody has to handle the turmoil of that. And that's what we're doing. So if you could cut this off now, that would be super helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And ask for help. And when help is offered to you, take it. Because they're going to have charges now brought up against them. We are now
listed.
Hope so. Yeah, we hope so. So everybody, you know, if you...
Norwalk because how many times does this happen?
And nothing.
And nothing happens. Who was that dog you took in? Palm.
Yeah. So I went through the whole court case situation.
2018, I want to say. Because I was on Ragbri.
We pressed charges one time
so far. And it's such a time suck. This is the problem. Yeah. There are laws put in place that support law enforcement to do things about this. But when it goes to a court situation, I'm talking lawyers, attorneys, and that kind of thing, it goes nowhere. And so we're sitting here trying to fight the fight. We're trying to take in dogs. We're trying to foster dogs. We're trying to vet dogs, adopt dogs out. And we're also in this legal battle, and all this time suck is happening over here, and nothing ever happens.
No. Yeah.
And so it's like when we get into these situations and people ask, well, were charges pressed? Are you going to press charges? Have you provided any detail? It's like, listen,
ain't nobody got time for that.
I could sit here and spend 40 hours this week providing details and providing pictures and providing backup and all of this, but nothing's going to come of it. And so until some laws change, our time is better served helping actual living dogs on ground zero. Yeah. But that's not to say that we aren't.
We advocate for it.
That we don't advocate, that we don't supply any records or any information, just like you have, to the Norwalk Police Department.
Yep. So we're listed.
Not that we're not hopeful that something doesn't happen.
Paws are crossed over here. You know, we're on the witness list, but what does that mean?
But we get asked a lot. Did you press charges? Did you? No,
because they don't care.
But also, we're limited in what we can press charges. We don't have. We're just people. But we can't legally press charges.
No.
So
the police have to do it. So we've gotten the police to do it one other time, is what she's alluding to. And we spent hours and hours of our time trying to, make it right for this dog that died. And it just didn't land. And so we're a little jaded.
I think our time would be better well spent just doing our PI investigations and quietly ruining somebody's life.
That's what I'd like to do. So anyway, isn't that wild? So stay tuned. We will continue to follow the case of what we thought was the Indianola 10, but ended up being the Norwalk 70 whatever.
But Karen and I talked about this before we recorded this podcast about what we can do to give you guys, our listeners, a way to advocate for us as well. And so we'll be looking into that and seeing if there's anything there that you guys can do for us. But
and we'll be putting podcast notes on our website.
The whole call your representative thing, it just drives me nuts.
It doesn't do anything.
It just starts,
But there's organizations out there that are making change, that are doing things to make a difference.
Absolutely. So those are the resources that are dedicated to those. We're over here doing this. Those resources are dedicated to doing the legal battle. And we respect that. And we love that. And we support that 125%. Anything we can do to help that, we're there for it. But we've got this. We're handling this over here.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that's our rescue tale of this.
Oh, the Indianola 10.
The Indianola 10.
We got a few of those. So
we do. Tuned. So there's going to be more. Speaking of which,
Speaking of Knoxville 13. Let's talk about one of our faves.
Yeah, so Knoxville 13 is going to be another large-scale rescue for us. That to us is a big rescue, right? So
that was a right now situation.
Woo-wee.
We were on the ground within an hour and a half of Knoxville 13, and we rescued this. What was he? A Sheltie mix?
They said he was a Sheltie, but he was also a manatee. Sheltie manatee mix.
He was kind of a toad. He was a bit of a
so
toad.
Immediately when we saw him, we started calling him Toad. Because he just was a fat tick. And the people that called us about it, they said, well, there's, all these dogs and there's one that you're probably going to have to euthanize because he can't even move. All right. And it was apparently a favorite dog because it was in the house.
Well, it was the resident dog.
Yeah, it lived in the house.
So I think he was the only resident dog of those 13.
Everybody else was outside.
Which
we'll dive into that in another episode. But this is about Toad.
Yeah, he was quite the toad. And my parents, Ron and Shauna, they fostered him. And my dad, being the compassionate person that he is, did not care for the name Toad. He thought that it was
and I had that name
rude.
Everywhere. It made me laugh every time. I had him on Pet Finder as Toad. He was listed everywhere as Toad.
Dad did not like that at all.
He looked like a bloated bullfrog.
So they called him Rocky the Rock, which is also fitting, but not as funny.
Cool. But Rocky Toad, come on. Get out of here. So
but we have gotten some pup dates. He was adopted.
Yes.
God love him. By a couple who had just moved in near Rathbun Lake.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And the wife worked in Des Moines, and she came up to Madrid to do a meet and greet with
I can't believe
Toad.
You took him home.
Rocky, whatever. Sorry, Dad.
That double scoop of lovin'.
And, she fell in love with him. And anyway, they got moved into their new house, and she came back and got him. And she sends us videos all the time.
First of all, he's been on Slim Fast or Weight Watchers or something.
He's down a few pounds.
He looks nice.
Well, we had to shave him down when we got him, remember?
Right. Everybody was very mad at, and we'd literally, you've never seen a shaved Sheltie, so it really made him extra toady because you could see all of his lumps and bumps.
But he's got a nice coat coming in now, and he likes to stand out on the deck and bark at the deer. And on one of the videos, he kind of goes out to chase them.
And then remembers that he can only hop.
I said, he's chasing down a snack.
He's hungry.
Some deer sticks.
My boy's been on a diet. He's hungry.
But he's getting along so good. And, that's where it's at.
Yeah. Gosh. I always tell the story of I one time took in a black lab who was diabetic, completely blind, deaf, incontinent, and I had to give 3 shots a day of insulin. And someone adopted that dog.
Well, that was Littlefoot, too.
Yeah,
Remember?
Same. Yeah.
We took in the 4 from Tama, and Littlefoot was, I called him Littlefoot because he had such a long neck.
He was the weirdest looking dog.
He had
hideous.
such a long neck.
Just an ugly thing.
And he was older than the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's why I called him Littlefoot.
It was perfect.
And he ended up being blind, incontinent, and he had to have insulin every day.
Yeah.
And Lori.
Yeah, Lori
adopted him.
She did, and man,
poor Littlefoot.
Yeah, and he's no longer with us as well. Which we should mention. I'm gonna bump up one of our topics quicker here.
Let's talk about Cracker Jack.
Yeah, so we have a page on our website called our Rainbow page, where we post if someone lets us know that one of our kids, which is what we call these dogs, right? These are our kids to us. Yeah. So if one of our kids passes away, but I'll let Holly tell this story because she was closest to it.
Oh, Cracker Jack. What was he?
Maybe like a Pomeranian or long-haired Chihuahua mix or something. Just a little baby floof.
He was picked up as a quote stray by
Kansas.
Wichita. I believe it was either Kansas Humane Society or Wichita Animals. Right. They're practically the same thing. Anyway, he was youth listed, and so we already had a load of kids coming up from Kansas anyway, so we threw him on the transport. And I met Craig, which is one of our
we'll talk about him.
Wonderful transporters, Craig and Kelly.
We'll have a whole section just about Craig.
We have
eventually. Yeah.
When I met Craig in I believe it was Bethany, Missouri, I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
I thought Cracker Jack was dead. Gone. He opened up the hatch, and he was in a kennel, and I thought, is he alive? And he was, but he was not doing well. And so it's a 2-hour drive from Bethany to where I live, and I took him straight to emergency services in Boone. And we, got him on some IV fluids and some meds and pain meds and stuff. And he was with me for 3 days. And it was very apparent that he was not a stray. He was somebody's pet who had somebody either dumped him or relinquished him to the shelter. Yeah. And it was very clear that he was not going to come back from this. He was circling and incontinent and very confused, dementia, wouldn't sleep, wouldn't eat. And
he was in stages, and
he was definitely in his final stages of life, and somebody didn't have the courage to give him the dignity of his final days. And so I did it. I had to make the call, and it's one of the toughest calls we have to make. It's the hardest call you have to make with your own dogs.
Right. But with this
and then
dog
to have to do it with a rescue dog, it's that much harder because, I love him just like he's my own.
Isn't it crazy?
But
in 3 days,
I'm not his people.
Yeah.
Where are his people?
Why am I having to make this choice?
Why am I having to do this? Not for me, for him.
Right.
Why is he having to go through this without his people?
Yeah.
It's a really sad situation, but we gave him the best.
Oh, they laid in the grass together. They had a wonderful afternoon before he went, and
but that was a year ago today.
1 year ago today that happened, and that was our first dog that we lost
in rescue.
Yep. We didn't think about that so much when we started it. I don't think we didn't think that we'd have to watch some go, and we'll get into that some more about some of the others. But
it really took it
was hard.
My faith in humanity really took a hit that day. Just having to be the one to make that call, and him to, he wasn't alone. And we gave him the best, and that's all we can hope for. But, if your dog is in its last stages of life and you don't feel like you can be there, you don't feel like you can do it, please just ask for help. I will gladly meet you at any vet facility. A lot of times vets now will come to your home. You can do home euthanasia as well.
It's the final gift,
and I know I'm a stranger, but I will come sit with you.
We don't care.
I would much rather me come sit with you and your dog be with you in those last moments than for just me to be with him.
That's crappy. And it's hard
and for them to go through all of that, all of those changes, and they don't know where they're at, they don't know who they're with, they don't know where they're going. That's no way to end it.
No, it's not. And with our own dogs, and I have friends that will, I say that I got my veterinary license on the internet. I can pretty much diagnose anything. I've seen enough
Caribou
dogs.
DVM.
Yeah, but not really. Disclaimer, I'm not a vet. But people ask me a lot, what's going on? What should I do with my dog? And a lot of times I have to tell them,
I even ask you.
Have you thought about that this might be when you get to give that dog its gift of a dignified death.
Right.
And to put it that way, I think is a little different. To say I'm going to, make this call to put my dog down, that doesn't feel very good. But that's the last gift we get to give them, because they've been all their lives. Dogs just give us gifts every day. And if we get to make that choice at the end for them and with them when they're telling us that it's their time, then that's great. And so please
But I also think that's part of your responsibility as a pet owner.
Do not drop your dog at, I promise you that dog was not a stray. It was dropped off by its owners.
Oh, yeah.
I know for a fact that how things work in shelters in a larger metropolitan area is that if you walk in with a dog and say, I'd like to release my dog, what will they say? We're full. Every single time. We're full. Because they are. Everybody's full. We're full.
We're full.
Yeah. But if you say, I found this dog walking down the side of the street. I don't know whose it is. Can you please help me? Guess what? The door opens up. Okay. Not for us. We're not going to take your stray dog, just FYI. Right. But that's what happens. So some person can live with themselves knowing that they did that, and I have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, those aren't my people.
Nope, they're not ours. Nope. So,
but again, I'm going to reiterate, that's that's your final responsibility to your pet.
Yeah.
So you need to think about that when you're adopting a dog, is that you're going to see this dog through to the end of its life. And if you're not capable of handling that,
yeah,
you need to rethink adopting.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah, you're with them for life. This is not a teddy bear for Christmas.
And you will most likely outlive them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't outlive them, everybody should also have a end-of-life plan for your pets, because we could all die tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
we had a whole...
I have a whole folder at home that says, this dog needs this dog needs it, and all their vet records, and I want this dog to go, and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So... Yep. Be a responsible pet owner. Don't make us do that, because it's terrible.
It's awful. I'd rather spend my time and effort helping dogs that need it, not dogs that have humans that were lazy and a coward.
Let's talk about something happy.
It's a coward. Okay. Something happy. Ha! Yes.
Yeah.
I think we probably have a thing or two to say.
We had a double adoption the other day. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
It was great.
Now, listen. Double adoption days. Remember us when we were with Fluffy Butts?
It took us years.
But we had several. Mm-hmm. And it kind of got a little weird there.
We had a few in a row.
I think our last one was Gar and Crash.
Yes.
Beautiful
But
babies.
We had a mom and a baby that
So when we say double adoption, we mean Kara was fostering a dog at her house, and I was fostering a dog at my house, which is a good 45 miles away. And we would have adoptions on the same day. And it just happened that way. Mm-hmm. And it was...
every time.
And
for a while.
When we had our first double adoption with Oh My Dog, I was like, hey, double adoption.
And
but now it's happening all the time. We have weekends where it's weekends. There's 3 or 4 adoptions.
But we had our first yesterday double adoption from the same house.
Yes, because we have a wonderful foster named Marissa who is always down for Crazy Town.
Mm-hmm. And her husband, Walker, we have to shout out because he drives dogs around and he doesn't whine at all.
What a great fur dad.
He is a wonderful fur dad.
But they take in multiples, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. Not expected, but amazing.
No.
And Marissa always raises her paw for any dog that comes in. Thank you, Marissa.
Yes.
And she had a double adoption yesterday for Longmire and Tiger Lily.
She claims it's because she cleaned her house, and so she wanted to get people in there real quick.
I know how that is,
She's got 2. So this is the deal here. I just want to talk about a little bit about what the lives are like of the people who foster for us.
Yes.
So Marissa has 2 little babies, both just the most beautiful children.
Gerber babies.
Like never seen anything cuter.
They need to be on commercials.
It's an outrage. But they're both at home, so she's a stay-at-home mom who is also going back to school. So she has class that she does. Excellent. Wonderful. And then Walker works outside of the home, but also is a big part of the raising of these fosters and helping with them. He's wonderful with the dogs. But so she's got 2 little kids plus a herd of whatever dogs she's helping at the time. Mm-hmm. And she does it all with just a smile and a laugh. Like, if you're not having fun, there's no point in doing this.
No, but she's
having fun.
You know, and that kind of speaks to the whole fostering situation. Mm-hmm. You know, people always say, oh, I could never foster. I would adopt them all. Or I could never foster. I've got too much stuff going on. You know, I'm going to school, or I've got
2 little kids at home.
I'm working full time or whatever. It's like, listen, on average, these dogs are, I think I added it up at one time last year. It was like 21 days or something like that. 20 days.
Which is
20.5 days.
Because we've
had 3
weeks. Yeah, max.
On average. And we've had a dog, Malibu, who was with us for like 6 months. So, you know, she dragged those numbers way down.
Yeah.
But the fostering thing is when you take a dog into your home, you know, 9.5 times out of 10, that dog isn't going to fit into your pack.
Right.
You are just watching this dog, keeping it alive, getting it vetted, and finding it the perfect home. Yeah. And you're going to be happy to find it that perfect home because you're not it.
Right.
And it's not that you don't love it. No. It's not that you don't care for it or keep it happy and healthy.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have 5 dogs of my own. You've got, we won't say how many.
Undisclosed.
Yeah. But it's just, you know, it takes a very special situation for a foster to foster fail.
One to keep.
And so I always tell people because if I've heard it once, I've heard it a million times. I could never foster. I'd adopt them all. And at this point, I just want to punch people in the face.
Right.
If I hear it one more time, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to go postal because what are your options?
Yeah.
What are your options? What are our options?
We don't foster them and then they die.
Exactly.
That's pretty mean. Like it's pretty harsh
I
to
hate
say.
to be so harsh. Again, the dark humor thing. But if I put a dog in front of you and say,
can you let it stay here for 21 days?
Right.
Or
can you watch this dog for me for 21 days while I pay for all of its vet care? Or it's euthanized. Which one? Which way are we going to go? Help us out.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm not saying you have to do like what Marissa does. Marissa goes above and beyond. She is incredible, taking 2 puppies at a time.
Yeah, well, she's obviously a psychopath. So she fits right in with the rest of us.
We talk about mental health. She ain't right.
We have a few of those on our team.
But none of us are. Ain't none of us right. Because we put ourselves through this and we take the joys for what they are. And we hold on to those in the moments where we have to lay down in the grass before we have to let someone else's dogs go. And so that's the joy of it. And we laugh along the way.
Oh, my God.
We have, so one thing we do, I don't know if every rescue does this. I think we kind of learned it a little bit from Fluffy Butts, but we really kind of dived.
Oh, my God.
We have these group chats.
There are so many group chats.
I counted it in the very beginning, and it's probably doubled by now. But in the first 6 months of when we started rescue, I figured out that I receive, on average, about 1,500 messages, texts, calls, emails just for the rescue in one day.
Okay, I had to set up a special do not disturb. You know, you can set up special ones where it only turns off certain things.
Yeah.
Learn something there. I had to set up a special one just for Messenger.
Yeah.
Because of all the group chats. And I love you all. Don't get me wrong. If you're a foster for us and you are listening to this, which I hope you are, you should
you love and hate those group chats.
I love those group chats. They are freaking hilarious. I die laughing every time.
Every day.
Sometimes it's like, y'all are stressing me out. I gotta take a breather here. I'll check in a minute.
I do want to interject.
Especially in the morning. You morning people can F right the F off.
I'm laying in bed at 4 a.m. ready to say, hey, did you send me those records? And Holly's just got me on mute. It's cool.
You catch me at 2 a.m. You're not going to catch me at 4 a.m.
But, we're celebrating Marissa and what she's done in this double adoption. But I will say that I have to also celebrate Holly in that we could not do this alone. And the reason that we are able to keep up with all of these chats and messages and everything that's happening.
Absolutely separate schedules.
We do. We keep separate schedules and we pick up where the other one has a moment and we just raise our hands and we have become kind of the ultimate team in that regard. And I'm thankful for her and we have been so successful. And I think one of the most responsive rescues that anyone will ever encounter.
You really can't argue with that, honestly. No, because Kara is going to respond to that in less than 5 seconds.
I do not like to see that little red bubble. It makes me upset. So we'll respond, and we're working really, really hard. And every single person in our rescue has lives and jobs and kids and dogs.
Yes. Can we talk about that for a hot freaking minute,
just
please?
1 minute.
Listen, nobody's getting paid here. Okay?
Nobody. We do not take any money.
All volunteers. Mm-hmm. All of our fosters are volunteers. Everything. We're all doing the very best that we can, and we feel like we're going above and beyond. So sometimes things happen and life happens, and OMD South and OMD North, we're both offline at the same time. It just happens. Just be patient with us. But anyway, I just want to put that out there. This is completely volunteer based.
Everybody who helps us does this out of the
Kara and I
do
not take a salary. No. Every single dollar that gets donated to Oh My Dog, every single foster, adoption fee that gets paid goes right back to the dogs. Every single penny goes towards vet care.
Nobody's banking anything.
Exactly. Mm-mm. So please keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And that's how a majority of the rescues
most rescues are that way. And we're going to keep doing this until
it's not fun anymore.
Until it's not fun anymore. And when it's not fun, you'll know because we're going to be gone.
We're just going to be gone.
But
I'm not worried about that.
No, we're going to keep having fun no matter what gets thrown at us. So there's that.
Okay, back to Marissa. We've held this off. So she signed up with us in October of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So November, December, January, February, March, April. So 6 months. She's been with us for 6 months.
Wow.
She has fostered 12 dogs for us.
Holy cow.
Ta-da! And she just had her double adoption, like we said, with Tiger Lily, who was a boxer, and Longmire, who was get this,
Chiweenie. Plus.
Figure that out.
A Dalmatian.
Okay.
They sent me pictures of like who the parents were supposed to be. I can't. Like who's breeding?
You are the ID.
The people that are making that dog on purpose got to get out.
Kara loves those dog DNA kits.
Oh my gosh, those are so BS.
She likes to
know they're wrong.
You like to put your bid in first.
Yes.
And
yeah.
see
I
what
like
they
to
come
guess
back as.
and then know that they're wrong.
And you've only been wrong on one, which was Lotto.
Yes.
We thought she was a min pin.
Yes.
Which she absolutely looks like a min pin.
She does.
But
whatever
DNA says she's not.
Whatever.
Do we
They're
believe
wrong.
it? Do we not?
Yeah. I love to ID dogs.
So congratulations to Marissa.
Thank you,
so
Marissa.
much for everything you do. And thank you to all of our fosters. Don't feel left out. We will.
Yeah. Everybody's
We're
going
going
to
to
get a
be
highlight.
doing a foster spotlight. We have some of our favorites for sure coming up in the next few episodes. So
yes. Speaking of which, our first year we were approved to have 10 foster homes, and currently we're approved to have up to 60. By the state and the inspection. And so it doesn't mean that we're going to have 60 dogs and 60 homes. That's not the goal.
No. Our point was to have a deep bench because
Marissa's going to need a break sometime.
We know that life happened. So the state was a little hesitant when we applied for that many foster homes. The compliance officer himself came out to do the inspection, which is not normal. And he was so impressed with our record keeping and our foster manual and our Facebook group, our foster group, our Mutt Mafia.
Crazy.
We are
psychopaths.
Karen, you put two gals with OCD together and phenomenal things are going to happen. But he was so impressed that he took part of our foster manual back with him
for an example
to other rescues. And so I was very encouraged by that we were on the right track because we were so nervous.
We were so nervous.
We were like, oh my God,
we missed something.
We don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. We don't know if we have I think we've got everything. Are you sure? We double checked, we triple checked everything, but passed the flying colors. We got approved for up to 60 foster homes,
which is really unheard of.
And like Kara said, we are not interested.
We don't want that many dogs at once.
Becoming a quote big league rescue because I think it's important that Kara and I know all of our fosters
and where everybody is.
I might not know who when your daughter's birthday is. I'm probably never going to know that, to be honest with you.
I don't know that about my own.
But I think it's important that we know our fosters. We know their homes that these dogs are in, and we trust them.
I don't want to send a dog to a stranger.
And so, but we want to give reprieve, and we want to keep our bench deep.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in joining the foster team,
check out.
We would love to have you.
We'll share this when we share the podcast, but ohmydogrescue.org is our website. Endless resources there, as well as the ability to apply to foster, and we'll send you all the information you'll need.
Yep, the foster manual.
Get that. So yeah.
And all the legal paperwork. It's easy peasy.
Let's
roll. We like everything else. We make it as streamlined and easy as possible. And Kara and I, our job is to make our foster's job easy.
And fun. If this isn't fun, we're done.
And so we're handling all the things on the back end, the vet appointments. And I mean, if you have been a foster with us for a while, you're making your own vet appointments, and I love that. Thank you.
But if not, we can do it.
But if not, we're making those appointments.
We're ready.
We're keeping the records. We're logging the records, the adoption applications, the adoption contracts, the money, getting all of that handled, and making sure we are
on it,
in compliance with the state so we can keep doing what we're doing. So there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that happens. And that's our job.
It is.
So,
and we like it because
we do like it because it's a lot of OCD spreadsheet fun.
Okay, so cool. Thank you again to our fosters. We're going to continue to highlight some of our volunteers and the things that they're doing to change lives and save dogs and help us with this mission. So we'll keep doing that. But Marissa, having a double adoption in her own home, had to get her first in line. So
Yes, congratulations again.
yeah. So, okay.
Oh my God, tell your bad dog joke. I cannot even.
We were talking about all of those fleas that we had to clean
And
off.
ticks. The ticks have been so bad this year.
Use prevention,
Anybody else
guys.
have bad ticks? Because get on that flea and tick prevention. The ticks are out and they are thick.
It's nasty.
Nasty.
I can't be involved. I'm going to keep my dogs on turf only. Gross. Anyway, here's my joke. You ready? Okay.
Get it.
So
Already
a dog went to see the flea circus. Yeah, he went, showed up, sat in the front row, and he stole the whole show.
That is
That's
terrible.
It's awful. Yeah.
That is awful. Okay.
I was meant to be a father.
Featured adoptable dog. Who do we got?
Sissy.
Oh, she's with Mike and Linda.
Mike and Linda.
Another wonderful foster pair.
They're awesome.
I used to work with Mike in my previous life. Mm-hmm. He was awesome.
And Mike and Linda like the little biddies, and they took in Sissy, who was born in 2014.
Terrible name.
Well, she came with the name Sassy, so
close enough.
Both are not great, and she didn't know it anyway. But she was a breeder release. Again, a breeder who we are helping to retire. Okay, so we're slowly taking her breeding
this
stock.
Is that one. Yes,
yeah, and we'll talk
yes.
about this a little more in another episode. But Sissy is about 8 pounds, maybe less. She's little.
She is very tiny.
Mm-hmm. She's a little female gray toy poodle who actually, is it a toy poodle? Is that the smallest? She's tiny.
She's very small because she was at the adoption event at Fleet Farm in Ankeny.
Put her in your
Shout
pocket.
out to Fleet Farm in Ankeny. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would say,
yeah, under 8 pounds.
What do you call those? Like teacup poodle? Is that a thing?
Teacup is such a BS thing. It's a made up deal. Toy.
Very small poodle.
Instead of miniature, I think it's toy is the next down. So we're going to go with toy poodle. Anyway, she's darling. She has enjoyed sitting on Linda's lap and learning how to dog. She completely can use puppy pads now and understands. She came from a breeding facility, right? So when these dogs come out, they don't know anything.
Right.
So
which is important to understand when you're adopting a breeder release dog. Is sometimes breeder release dogs are young enough that they don't know any different and they're just like any other dog.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they're coming from really
10-year-old
shitty situations and they have a harder time knowing how to be a dog. And so you just got to give them a little time and patience to adjust.
But I'll tell you, it's the greatest reward you'll ever receive.
100%.
I have a breeder release Shih Tzu who now comes with me to go play at Paws and Pints. And she runs around.
You can find Kara at Paws and Pints just about every night of the week.
That is not true. Like maybe 2 to 4.
I wish I could get down there more. I really do.
I enjoy it because my dogs enjoy it, and I get to talk to other crazy dog people.
And we love Paws and Pints.
Yeah, they do a great job, and what they've created is pretty wonderful. But
I wish they would create something wonderful in like Grimes.
Well, I'm not coming to Grimes. Well, yeah, Grimes would be in the middle. I'd come to Grimes, I guess. But anyhow, little Sissy, please visit our website at ohmydogrescue.org. Check Sissy out. She would love to meet you. If you're interested in meeting any of our adoptable dogs, please apply first, because what that does is allows you to connect you to their foster family.
Right.
And then once they are connected with you, you can set up that meet and greet. We don't have a shelter. You don't have to walk through. Our dogs don't sit in cages. You're not going to walk down the line.
They're in real homes.
They are.
With couches and beds and
they're getting used to being good in bed, right? So yeah, please check out Sissy. She's been sitting around for a little too long for how adorable she is.
Agreed.
Yeah.
She came in.
I don't know. She's got to go. She's been here a little bit. They're enjoying her, and so the love of this is that they said she can stay as long as she needs to, which we love that. But she has a home out there.
Yeah, I was just looking up when Sissy came in.
Yeah.
224. So she's been with us for 2 months.
Which is long for us.
Which is long for us. We're normally, about that 21
about
days.
a month. Yeah.
10 days or less. Yeah. But she is spayed. She's had a dental. She's completely up to date on her vaccinations.
Full blood workup done, so we know, what's going on with her. She's healthy for being born in 2014.
And she's about 10 years old then. A little over 10 years old. great addition to anybody's family.
Yeah.
Get in touch with us. We'll put you in touch with Mike and Linda.
Yeah, it'll be great. Can't wait to see Sissy in her forever home. So.
All right.
Okay, well, we have talked forever.
Yeah. This first one's a little long.
We'll try to tighten things up.
They probably won't. They might be this long. Probably not.
No, we'll be quicker next time. But we
had a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah, we're just doing a test right now to make sure you listened all the way to the end.
Right. So please follow us. Mm-hmm. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you want to hear about.
And we're going to do a call out. Because at the end of each episode, I want to talk about, do you know what a heart dog is?
Oh, a dog that's changed your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you please write
Well, that's Jax for me, right?
Yeah. What changed the trajectory of your life when adopting a dog? Like, who was that?
100%.
Right?
I would not be sitting here with you today if it wasn't for Jax and Chris Wells.
Chris Wells.
Love you, Chris.
Love her. Anyway, please send us a Facebook message. Go on our website. There's an email form you can fill out. Please let us know what dog you adopted that changed your life and why. Just a quick little paragraph. We'll read it at the end of our next episode, our favorite one.
We want to talk about it.
We're doing this work for the dogs, but also because we know how important it is to have this presence of a little canine BFF in your life.
Mm-hmm. Or 2 or 5 or 10.
Whatever you got. We don't care. We don't judge.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is our tagline.
That's right.
We will figure it out. We always do.
We will. So with that, together.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Tune in next time.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Oh my dog.
What I mean when I see, what I see, what I feel, when I dream, when I be, I'm a freak. What up? Oh, what up? Everybody look at me when I'm free, when I feel what I see, when I do it, I'm a freak. What up? Oh, what up? Say what we got, it's hot to spot, give up the drop, see what we got, do what? We got to go, the body flow, too hot to show, the front row, we won't stop. Hey!